Okay, it is time to go ahead and take a look at our top 10 Dokkan Fest TUR tier list for the end of 2023. So yes, there has been two final releases of 2023. I mean, you see this being recorded on December 30th, which should go up exactly the same day. I haven't been able to record my videos yet. I slept for like 12 hours and I woke up recently. I'm like, oh, I have to make sure we do this. But Hirudegarn and then Super Saiyan 3 Goku are the two new additions to this tier list. And again, they're both very powerful characters, I will say for sure. Now, exactly how high there are, we'll take a look at, and which one I do think is better over the other. So you may kind of understand which one I think is better than the other if you did watch my videos, which I do have a bunch of videos on them in the different red zones, showcases and stuff like that. So feel free to go ahead and check them out. But I got a lot of usage with them, and I think I have a very good understanding of how they work like in game. So again, this is top 10 tier list, so we're gonna start from the bottom. We're gonna go all the way to the top. So at our number 10 spot, I do have Path to Power Kid Goku. Again, two spots from this tier list have been bumped off because we got two brand new Dokkan Fests that do indeed fit this tier list. And Path to Power Kid Goku, I mean, I've loved this guy since he released Rainbow Orb Changer support. This support is not really the greatest, but it's very effective for those categories that do need that help. This support, the 8% reduction to all allies, is super massive, and I found it to really help a lot of characters, especially nowadays. There's so many characters that need to build up a little more. So if you have an ability like this turn 1 and you're able to get that, like, your characters on a rotation, a lot of them may need to receive hits or something like that, right? Or you need to attack to build up. So this could be helpful even against AoEs. Just singing a little less damage from these AoEs with these characters is really great, and especially with characters who have built-in damage reduction or dodge, or not necessarily dodge, I mean, but guard. This is massive. And I guess he does give crit too, which is kind of interesting too, right? Triple super, do some pretty decent damage still. A lot of teams. I like him quite a bit. I mean, at this point, he is number 10 on the list, so he's right at the bottom. So that's a thing. But I will say, the next time we do one of these lists is going to be in March. Because we're going to have nothing for January, right? I mean, everything already came out for, like, the New Year celebration. We only get 2 Dokkan Fests, and then anniversary right near at the end of January, which is basically end of January, February, and then at the beginning of March, basically right after the 9th anniversary, we'll receive another Dokkan Fest TUR, which will be the first one since these 2 dual Dokkan Fest here. So we do want to keep that in mind, that until March I probably won't update this specific tier list, right? So here is Goku Youth here at our number 10 spot. Now next we do have Gamma 1. Gamma 1 again is a character that has stood the test of time. I mean, he's older than Kid Goku, and he's still here at number 9. I mean, he's guarding, building up reduction, he's supporting, he has a counter against unarmed super attacks, which this could work against like Fusion Zamasu, right? Which could be very interesting. Even after his guard runs out, he is still a fairly tanky character. With the 50% reduction, he has a lot of defense from his lings, so he's able to get to some, like, 700k range of defense with 50% reduction still, which is still really powerful. And yeah, I really like him. This Gamma 1 right here, he is able to cook quite well. I think his only issue is that he's not on as many teams, but again, superheroes, movie heroes, androids, right? He's good at, like, as an option on all those teams specifically. Where the Rivals doesn't have a lead, does they? No. I said does they? Do they? Yeah. You can tell I woke up like half an hour ago, but in my mind, I knew what this tier list was going to be anyway, so that's why I am here. And that is Gamma 1. Next, we have Android 21, and then I'll put Piccolo and Gohan. And just get rid of these 2 spots here. I don't remember if last time I had Android 21 or Piccolo and Gohan above them. I think Piccolo and Gohan is better, though. I forgot which one I put above. I thought I was close between these 2 because of the fact that, like, 21, her biggest issue is that she can't dodge before she attacks. She only dodges after she attacks. So against Fusion Zamasu, that hurts quite a bit. But this character is super, like, they can have the same issue where their damage reduction runs out mid-turn. But they also have the revive skill, which helps really, really well early on. And, you know, I know a lot of people say things like, oh, you know, it sucks that you want to use a revive so early. But these fights are hard turn one. Like, a lot of these fights are as hard as they are turn one, right? So, I mean, sometimes you just have to use the revive. I mean, if the revive is used, then you need it, right? I think in a lot of situations. Though with this character, to be fair, when you fall under 70% HP for the revive, they kind of like can't tank attacks, especially AoEs, so they likely just die anyways, right? But I do like this character quite a bit. I liked them when they released. I think that the community gave them a bad rep, for sure. I think that 3-turn support, if you're able to get that off right here, let me show you right here, this 3-turn support, if you're able to get that off, that's just absolutely insane. It could help a lot, that 3-turn support. Like, it's a massive difference. And I actually, over the past week, I was using this Gohan and Piccolo team a little, and you know, it is very good. Bottom Master Disciple is a very powerful team. You know, if we compare that to like the Android 21's team, like, I feel like this team is like, you definitely, like, the Android is good as a team, but I don't feel like it's as good, definitely, as Bottom Master Disciple. I mean, we have this Gohan and Piccolo, Orange Piccolo, Future Gohan, Future Trunks, and Ultimate Gohan is still a good character, I would say. I mean, it's a funny character, but he's a good character. In Future Gohan, right? We have a couple of options here. Physical Beerus is good. Gowasu Zamasu you could definitely use. STR Piccolo if you have a movie heroes based with characters, right? So, I mean, yeah, this is a good category, right? And then you pair that up with Saiyan Saga, you can get like Yamcha in here too if you really wanted. But I like this Gohan and Piccolo. They're able to cook really, really well. And then, you know, they help 23rd World Tournament Goku become insane. And then this Gohan is just like crazy. If you have a Goku in the team, he has a guaranteed dodge, right? And even like on his own team, that's difficult to get off. You could run LR Gohan and Piccolo, right? Not Gohan and Piccolo, Goku and Piccolo, right? The physical one. You could also just use this character in like 23rd World Tournament Goku's team, right? And then he revives, activates that revive, gets the guaranteed dodge. Yeah, this Gohan is super stupid. He also has like just like this mega like attack at like first turn, guaranteed crit, and this extra 300% attack and defense plus the dodge. It's like, he's very nasty, this Gohan and Piccolo. I think that I would put them above 21 for sure. And I show 23rd World Tournament Goku next, but yeah, there is them at 7. And then yeah, we have here 23rd World Tournament Goku at 6. Then this is difficult because like I have God Goku at 5, right? And it's like you could do this easily, and I almost really want to do this, but I feel like God Goku is just gonna be overall more consistent still. It's difficult because, like, again, God Goku has so much extra value to him, but it just, like, as a character, you know, 23rd World Tournament Goku's leader skill is easily better than this guy's. It just, being reliant on another character's revive does kind of, that's not the worst thing anymore. It's pretty easy to get off with the Gohan and Piccolo, to be honest, but it's like God Goku isn't necessarily as reliant on another character. So, you know, let's say especially for future proofing, this God Goku I see will likely outage 23rd World Tournament Goku. And he does what he does, I think, a little more easier, especially, you know, I think a lot of people have that same sentiment. 23rd World Tournament Goku, you know, if you don't get the revive off, you know, he has to rely on the high chance guard, which I don't really like, honestly. But then this character, you know, even if you only get 3 key spheres, he still has a 60% chance to dodge, which, like, that could activate every turn compared to guard not being able to. But again, another thing you can say is that this guy's defense gets like so much higher than this God Goku's defense. Like, I've seen this guy without his revive like over 1 million defense before when he's fully built up. So it's just, it depends, especially with the support this guy's team has, right? Very insane. I don't know. It's difficult for me. I almost wanted to do something like this, but I'll probably keep God Goku here for now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think God Goku or 23rd World Tournament Goku? I almost really want to say 23rd, but I'm gonna keep it like this, and then maybe I'll change my mind again. I always go back and forth between these two. These two are like where I'm like really struggling, but even compared to the rest of the list, these two are where I'm really struggling all the time. I would say though, Ma Junior is definitely better than those two. I mean, we all know what Ma Junior does, but he's just free and easy, just insane character. I like him quite a bit. Ma Junior, he still cooks really hard. Again, turn 1 AoEs could be a little bit of an issue for this guy, but past that, sorry about that, I had to sneeze actually, but past that turn 1, you know, even on turn 1, like if you're able to have him attack pretty like quickly, which he easily does, like 5 attacks in a turn, he becomes tanky enough to eat like any super in the game anyway. So it just, he does too much, and he has the giant form. I really like the giant form. I think that's probably what makes me put him especially above the other two. But he's also like, you kind of put him in slot 2 when he does this thing. A little RNG dependent for sure, but many times he's able to do very well, like with like 3-4 additional super attacks even turn 1, and then the giant form here. I was like, this guy you kind of want to work the orbs around, this guy you kind of want the revive, right? Ma Junior is just kind of very free and easy with what he's doing, and it's very nice because of that, because he's a villain's buff, right? Villain needs all the help he can get. Just any villain team, please give us more really strong villains, which we did luckily get over here. So next, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and then yeah, we'll talk about him. So Super Saiyan 3 Goku here. The thing about this guy is, I mean, to me, you know how I just said with Ma Junior, he's just like free and easy with what he's doing. I kind of have the same sentiment with the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He's very free and easy with what he's doing. Him and Ma Junior is just basically both characters. You're like, okay, I put you in slot 2, and then you know you cook. that's pretty much all you have to do with this character. Put him in slot 2, even with 23rd, not 23rd. With him and Ma Junior, you can even do slot 3, but put him in slot 2 or 3, and they absolutely cook, right? The thing about this guy is, he kind of feels like, I think Ma Junior in a turn where he's doing like 5 supers is better than this character, like in terms of that specific turn. But generally speaking, you know, this guy having the 70% dodge chance, and then he has, I mean, he's doing just turn 1 like 15 mil or something like that, right? 16, 17 mil depending on your dupe level, and he just like doing so much damage, right? Just for free, just that one shot, not having to rely on additionals or, you know, RNG or anything like that. You just do that big shot super attack, which I think does have like, you know, a good like sentiment towards it. I guess not sentiment, but you guys get what I mean, like a good feeling where it's like, oh, you don't get screwed over by RNG or anything. Maybe the dodge screws you over by RNG, that could definitely happen, but 70% chance is pretty good. And then his defense still does get to like, let's say 800k or so after he super attacks or so. So that's pretty good. You know, with or without support dependent, right? There's a variable amount of numbers with support or not, because this guy gets really huge multiplicative buffs in his passive. Then if you fall under the 59% HP threshold, which is not difficult at all, this character does have guaranteed crits, and then he gets 159% extra attack. So, I mean, he's doing like 20 plus mil and then guaranteed crit like at the rainbow level. And it's like, okay, well that's pretty good. that's really good damage from the Super Saiyan 3 Goku in those scenarios. So yeah, he's just a very nasty character, just for, I mean, you got all that just for putting him in slot 2, and obviously as a Saiyan, he's very, you know, usable in a lot of different situations. And, you know, his leadership skill is pretty good, I think, overall. So I like him quite a bit. The standby skill, I have one issue with the standby skill, and the issue with that is the fact that he could technically still die. I think he's the most, like, it's not really too often where he could die, but I've had situations where he takes like a 300k normal, 350k normal, and it's like, oh, right, because he's reliant on the dodge. He has a great chance to dodge, and then if you're under 59% HP, you know, at the start of turn, he gets another 20% chance. So at max, he could have a 90% chance to dodge, which, you know, for all intents and purposes is pretty good. But, you know, that you could, if you're at the 70% chance, there's a potential chance you could die. I mean, we all know how that 70% chance feels sometimes. So that could be an issue. But once you use the finish skill, basically that overrides any dodge chance. You guaranteed, you know, counter the enemy's super attack. And it hits very hard. The Dragon Fist, very, very hard hitting, guaranteed crit. Especially on that first turn, where if you're able to use it, getting that extra 159% attack. He hits super, super hard, right? And then on top of that, after he uses the finish effect, he does guarantee dodge for the rest of the fight. So, or the rest of the turn, not the fight. So imagine if he guaranteed dodge for the rest of the fight. No, the rest of the turn he dodges, guaranteed. So if like the super attack is like the first attack, you don't really have to worry about anything. But if it's like the fifth attack, you know, you kind of you may have to worry a little, because his defense is like what, like 300k or something. Like usually I think 300k defense is like a good realm for him. So if he's like against Fusions and Masu, even Fusions and Masu might not be that big of a deal because he's physical at the end, but like Omega, right? Omega could give this guy some troubles for sure. But outside of like those two really, really difficult fights, usually it should be okay. Maybe Goku Black and Zamasu can give you some trouble, right? He also supports all allies with 3k and 59% defense, which is a very good decidability there as well, giving all allies the support of defense. I like that quite a bit. And then obviously he's also invincible, basically, right? You know, it depends again when you get that Dragon Fist up, but very good standby skill regardless. I like it quite a bit how it functions in game. You could get it on turn 3. You know, you have to be under 70% HP from turn 3 or from the 6th turn, but I think pretty often you will fall under 70% HP by the 3rd turn, so not too bad. I think that, you know, you could just use the standby mode pretty easily. And yeah, you know, a trick you could do with this guy is you could pop the standby mode, and then if you don't see a super attack, you could just reset the app and then go back to normal Super Saiyan 3, right? And then save that major attack boost for like the next turn. Because usually like you'll be safe without using the Dragon Fist, like if there's no super attack, obviously, right? So you'd rather save it. Next we have Hirudegarn. Hirudegarn is at number 2 here, and then I'll just put Limebreaker Vegito at 1. So I mean, a lot of people don't count him as a Dokkan Fest. I will. I still would count him as a Dokkan Fest. I'm thinking 77 medals, Dokkan events. He's basically like a premium unit, right? Because he's like only on the very specific banners, right? So I think I do count him as a Dokkan Fest again. I said this multiple times before, but Vegito is insane. Hirudegarn. We'll talk about this guy first and why I have Vegito over him, but Hirudegarn is kind of crazy. A lot of it is the transformed Hirudegarn, which you can get on turn 3, by the way. Like, transformed Hirudegarn is just so absurd. It's, oh, wow. Where do I even begin? I mean, like, you put him in slot 1, which is like the problem slot. He has the 70% chance to dodge. Then he builds up extra dodge and crit chance with each attack evaded, right? That is a that's not multiplicative. It's a separate like build up, to be fair, but it's like you have the 70% chance, and then, you know, you build up a separate 10 to 20 to 30 to 40, etc, etc, etc. And then every time he dodges 3 attacks, he guaranteed dodges all attacks the next turn, which is insane. If you get him out turn 3 and then you have guaranteed dodge in turn 5, like on the one of the final rotations of the fight, or the final rotation of the fight, where you're just like, oh, I'm guaranteed to be safe in slot 1, which is usually where, in my opinion, a lot of the attacks and the super attack a lot of times are in slot 1. So that is indeed the problem slot, especially for villains. Villains definitely would love like to have extra slot 1 characters, I think. So this character being able to have that guaranteed dodge is great. But it's not just dodging he does really good damage. He has a high chance to crit. Then he's like, if we're talking about the rainbow level, I've seen him do like 14 mil sliding up to like 17 mil or so, and then like 4 super attacks you can do within the turn. He has greatly raising attack for the turns. That's why good multiplicative boost offensively. I mean, he's nasty. And then don't forget, he does get this extra 100% attack and defense boost in the first slot. So the thing with him is you could see his defense maybe like 400k ish start of turn when he's transformed. You're like, oh, you know, that's not really that high, but he gets this extra 100% boost, so you want to keep that in mind. That is not necessarily like a big 100% multiplicative boost, but it is going to be a very helpful boost to your defense. Then, you know, even just pre-transform Hirudegarn, I've had him like in a situation where, oh, turn 1 he dodges 5 attacks, he got like a triple super, and then the next turn he's at like 700, 800k defense, or like if he's rainbowed like 1,000,000 defense potentially, like if he builds up his full passive turn 1 and he like triple supers, stacks that defense, and he has a 70% chance to dodge, so that's still really good. He's a slot 1 character you want to use. He could still have the high chance to crit and triple super, and just like, you know, do some pretty decent damage, like 9 mil attack stats or so, like triple 9 mil, and then his defense is insane, right? So yeah, untransformed Hirudegarn is still really, really good. And the good thing about untransformed Hirudegarn is that he's not actually locked to slot 1. You do get an additional that has a great chance to become a super attack, right? From evading an attack within that same turn, right? So that will help him with the stacks. But you could theoretically have a rotation of both Hirudegarns together, right? If you're using them as a leader. I did do that once, and with all his links active and everything, it was pretty fun. But you usually want to have Hirudegarn in each separate rotation. Hirudegarn's issue is that his team kind of sucks, but I mean, using his team, it's like there are still some decent characters on there, and Hirudegarn hard carries so hard. It's kind of like Mod Jr., where it's like this guy hard carries the team so bad. And then there are other teams you could use this character, specifically like you could just throw him on the heroes team, right? You could STR Hearts as a leader. I think people like Hearts is still able to kind of cook a little bit, right? I wouldn't say he's necessarily great or anything, but you know, him just as a floating support character with the guard and everything. You could also throw Hearts on his team, can't you? Because is Hearts on Resurrected Warriors? No, yeah, Hearts is on Resurrected Warriors, so you could throw Hearts on this team too. Hearts could be a pretty decent character there. Yeah, Hearts not bad at all. And then, you know, if we use them with like these extreme class heroes characters, I mean, we could have Hirudegarn. You know, he links very well with this tech Janemba, this modified Janemba. Is he on Resurrected Warriors? He's not. Okay, I wish he was on Resurrected Warriors. That'd be pretty cool. But I guess like he's taken from the fight against Gogeta anyway, so that's fine. I mean, you have Golden Metal Cooler you could use, you know, Dark King Fu, and Toa, Super Saiyan 3 Rose actually links pretty well with this Hirudegarn. Just no big bad bosses, man. If you had big bad bosses, ooh, he would share like potentially like 5 links with this Hirudegarn. That'd be really good, but unfortunately he doesn't. But yeah, you could just throw him on the heroes team, right? And then it's like he's able to cook very well on the heroes team still. I'm not sure any other team that you could really use him on, but those are the 2 main teams for him, his own team, and then like I guess you could use him on Fusion Zamasu's team. Like you could run Fusion Zamasu, Hirudegarn, and Mod Jr., Angel Zamasu, right? And you have a pretty good villain baseline up there in the Fusion Zamasu team, so that's very powerful. And then again, I have Vegito here. The only reason I have Vegito is because I think, I mean, he's just crazy. And consistency wise, I think having that really high reduction is better than like the dodge, right? Compared to like Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Hirudegarn. And that's the only reason I think mainly I have Vegito above him. Vegito also, I mean, turn 1, he's able to do super mega high damage and like triple 15 mil with the, what, 70% chance to crit is pretty insane. And then turn 3 active skill with giving him the guarantee crit, and then he could just triple super. Like, he's just too nasty. Super Saiyan 4 Vegito Limit Breaker is too good. So anyways, that is my list here. I feel very confident in this list. I like this quite a bit, except here, it's so tough, but I have to put God Goku here, I think with how I rate units, I probably have to put God Goku there, but I don't know, it's like, you could say Mod Jr., but Mod Jr. is like so much more easy to use than like these two. I think I'll keep it like this. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.